and Russian President Boris Yeltsin. Today, the two address the 50th anniversary session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Mr. Yeltsin speaks first in this 15-minute segment. He is introduced by the President of the UN General Assembly.
We'll now hear an address by His Excellency Mr. Boris Yeltsin, President of the Russian Federation.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, half a century ago, an event occurred that paved the way to a new period in the history of mankind. Divided and bleeding, the world understood that it had its only future on the path of mutual understanding and interaction. Only the United Nations will be able to realize the perennial dream of a world without wars and violence, of a world where controversial issues are settled through negotiation, of a world which is worthy of the human being and of mankind. But while having won a world war, we have not yet managed to win peace. The creative capabilities of the world community have been for decades hampered by the Cold War. It has neither benefited any people nor made any people happier. The end of the Cold War has become our common victory. Democratic Russia has made an unquestionable contribution toward its achievement. Nuclear missiles no longer target each other, but such threats as terrorism, aggressive nationalism, crime, and drug abuse are now aimed at each and every one of us. Along with integration, the rifts of estrangement and distrust among states and peoples are emerging. There is a dangerous tendency to play down the role of the United Nations, to circumvent its charter and the collective will of the Security Council. Today, the world, more than ever before, needs not only equality and tolerance, but respect for the identity of each state and an understanding of the peculiar features of its history. Each of them can and is willing to make its contribution to the development of a world community and to find a worthy place therein. We should not allow the revival of the atmosphere of animosity and prejudice against countries and peoples. Does the United Nations have the ability to achieve these goals? In the opinion of Russia, it does. The United Nations can and should become the main instrument for building new international relations. It has all the necessary powers to do so. To carry out this mission, it should be provided with appropriate means, including financial resources. Russia meets and will continue to meet its obligations to the United Nations. Certainly, the United Nations has not been able to achieve success in all areas, but the roots of its failure, first and foremost, lie in ourselves, in the behavior of states and organizations. Russia is concerned at the situation whereby, as has recently been the case in Bosnia, the Security Council was relegated to the sidelines of events. It represents an obvious and clear-cut violation of the foundations of the World Organization laid down by its founders. It is inadmissible for a regional organization to take decisions on the mass use of force bypassing the Security Council. Russia has worked hard to bring closer peace in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We are ready to support the operation on the implementation of a peace agreement with the participation of multinational forces, including Russian forces, but only under a clear-cut mandate of the United Nations Security Council. Military force should never be used in those cases where diplomacy has proved unable to succeed. The effects of that would be tragic. Recently, there has been much discussion about the difficult task of revitalizing the United Nations. A lively debate is underway on the issue of the enlargement of the Security Council. We advocate such a reorganization, but of course only provided that the responsibility of the Security Council is increased and the interests of different regions of the world are taken into account. The main concern of Russia is to achieve stability in Europe and Asia. We are in favor of establishing a security system based on compromises rather than pressure. European security is indivisible. There is no alternative to that. This is precisely the reason why Russia supports the idea of the earliest establishment of a new system of all European security, where all European states would be represented. And this is precisely the reason why we are against NATO's eastward expansion. It will put a barrier on the way to establishing a unified Europe. The question is an extremely acute one. Either such a system would be established for all Europe, or, as in the past, only for a select few. The strengthening of one bloc today means new confrontation beginning tomorrow. This is not the way to build a just world order. It should be based on different principles. Russia is in favor of a world order where the priority is given to international law and international cooperation. Russia is in favor of a world order where a comprehensive security system is put into effect. Russia is in favor of a world order where steady advance is ensured towards a world free from weapons of mass destruction, where the reduction of conventional weapons is underway. We are in favor of a world order where the role of the United Nations is increasing as an instrument for achieving peace, settling conflicts, and providing development assistance. Russia proposes the holding in 1999 of a third peace conference. The first one took place in 1899 in our country. The third one alone may be devoted to developing the bases for the settlement of conflicts emerging after the Cold War. It is also necessary to find a solution to long-standing issues, especially those like nuclear disarmament, the complete cessation of nuclear weapons tests, control over conventional weapons. Today, as 50 years ago, we should unite once again to eliminate the legacy of the Cold War and to find worthy answers to the challenges of our times. The United Nations represents the common will of the states of the world. Let us act in accordance with its norms and principles. And then peace, justice, and international law will prevail on earth. Russia believes in the United Nations, which was born in the middle of the 20th century and is making its way firmly into the 21st century. Thank you, sir.
I thank the President of the Russian Federation for his statement.